be to review and vote on the minutes of July 1st.
No, we're just gonna go right to the budget.
What?
Yeah.
We don't have a copy of the minutes, anyway.
No, we don't have minutes, it's
Okay.
just, to review the.
Go right into the budget.
the budget. Okay, Chris.
Okay, hi everybody.
Hello.
My name is Cassandra, as you know, and has everybody been through a budget process before? Is there anybody that has not? I can't see you too well, but is there anybody that has never sat through one of my budget meetings before?
Were you here for last year's budget meeting?
I've been through one.
We might have one that hasn't been through it.
Okay, that's fine.
I can
So what I'll do is I will be a little more detailed, that's all. I didn't want to fly through it without, in case, but feel free to ask any questions, anybody.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Acushnet Housing Authority budget. Now, there's a couple of things I just want to go over first. First of all, we had a great year. The financial statements came in for this year, 2020, in June, the year ended, and we ended up at having, I just want to show, is my screen sharing?
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. I saw 77.61%, which was excellent. And so this year we started out with a nice healthy reserve. I just wanted to say that Lynn and Julie have done a phenomenal job as always with keeping the rents collected and keeping the expenses down, and it's a really good running authority, very healthy.
Chris, can I interrupt you for a second? So I only got 4 pages. I don't have like that whole budget page that you usually give me. Was that supposed to be in the email?
Yes. So hold on. Let me move this over here.
Yeah, I didn't get that sheet. I just got the packet with the it has like the
Okay, so you didn't get this sheet right here. This one?
No, I didn't. I got 4 other sheets.
You got 4 other sheets. Okay. Do you want me to send you this right now?
Yeah, and I'll go print it.
Okay.
I thought it was a little different from last year.
That's interesting. Because it's a whole PDF, so it should have, but this happened last night too at the board meeting. They didn't get the, one of the big pages, so I don't know why that happened, but I'm going to send it right now.
All right, I'm gonna go grab it. I'm gonna go grab them.
Okay. So, these are the paper that you just received is the 4001 budget, which is the elderly housing unit, which is where you are.
Yep.
And so, overall, it's a good budget. DHCD did decrease our bottom line number that we have, our target number, by 4% this year. Like last year we had a 10% increase. This year they decreased it by 4%. So it doesn't really affect us too much because you're allowed to go over that number if you have good reserves to do. And if you're over 35% reserve, which you are, you're at 77, 78% in that ballpark. So you're in a good shape that we can do a good budget. We don't have to cut too many corners. In fact, I didn't really cut any corners. I just went by how we've been spending, how we came in at the year end, and kind of projected forward what some of the changes might be. And year. But, the third column is the fiscal year 21 budget, which is the budget that you're voting on today. And then the last column, the fourth column is the line item change, and that's from budget to budget. That's what that represents. That's from one budget year to the next budget year, how it has changed, and then the related percentage to that. We did provide an initiative this year for COVID expenses. They have given us about $324 a unit, and it comes out to $19,573 this year, which we did book the whole amount, but you won't see it in these line items up here. It's all in the non-routine costs. So these ones you see up above are just the operating expenses. And all told, you can see that this was last year's numbers, and this is the current year budget, and this is where I just made a few little adjustments. Insurance is what it is, employee benefits, accounting fees went up a little bit, and administrative salaries went up a little bit. But all in all, we came in at $217,795 of operating expenses for the year. This is everything but utilities and non-routine. So if we come over to this lower section here, this is the full story. You have your total operating expenses plus the utilities equals $295,545. That's what we project to spend on expected during the year. Our income, which is based on the September general, and the best we can do is project that we'll have, a few vacancies, and if all is well, we'll have $278,000 income, which means that we have a shortfall of about $16,650. We will have to go into our reserves for that a little bit, but in general, I don't expect, like, if you look up above, it looks like a high number, but it really isn't too bad. Last year, we hardly went into the overtime on the labor. Like, if you look through where we spent last year and where the budget was, you'll see that we came in under budget by about the same amount. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. And then, we don't earn subsidy at this authority right now, because if we go to the next page, you'll see, you have a break-even budget here. This is where you would know, this $242 on line 6. This is the calculation that DHCD uses to determine if you need subsidy, and you did not qualify to earn subsidy on operating expenses. However, we will get $19,573 to be used for COVID expenses. So Lynn and I were brainstorming, and we'll brainstorm some more, and you can brainstorm and come up with some ideas of how to spend that money. We need to do it quickly because DHCD is only giving us until December 31st to use that money. And it's use it or lose it kind of thing. So it's not money like in other years they've given us money for non-routine expenses or for tech allowance. However, this year it's specifically for COVID expenses. So as we spend it, we'll get reimbursed from DHCD. If we don't use it, it's fine. We can need it. But if we can come up with anything that at all that has changed since COVID, like any kind of PPE stuff that you have to buy, like hand sanitizer stations, that's up to you guys, however you and Lynn might determine the best course of action for that money. So we'll go back up, when all is said and done, we have now to expect just a few little, for appliances, in addition to the COVID. We put in $2,000 of appliances, which is on your very last page of your budget. That's the non-routine page. So, when all is said and done, like as I said, we'll be going to our reserves a little bit, but it's on paper. I believe it's not actually what we'll be spending. Just, I don't expect us to have to use that reserve money. We usually come in under budget in a lot of ways.
Perfect.
So are there any questions on hold on, not done yet. On the right side of the bottom hand corner, you'll see an analysis of equities, of where we stand in terms of our financial position. So we have right now reserves of $124,131, which translates to about 78%. And that's a function of the budget number and income and this percentage calculation. DAC wants that percentage to be, like I said before, 35%. We're way above that. And anyway, if you get to 100%, they start to have you spend it down a little bit using, like for project costs for the capital improvement projects, they start to have you use some of your money for that. They won't fund it entirely like they do now. So we're in a really great spot. Right where you want to be. It's healthy, you got a nice cushion, and it makes everybody happy. The state's happy, we're happy, everybody's happy. If we spend our reserves, we'll still be in a good spot. If we end up going into our reserves for something unforeseen, we would be at, if we spent every dollar in this budget, we would be at $105,000 in our reserves, which would translate to 66%. That's at the bottom. So we're still good. We're still good. I don't expect it, but to have to spend all that, but if we had to, we're okay. There. Now, are there any questions so far on anything?
So I just have a quick question. So if our reserves gets up to 100%, then they start making us pay for our own projects?
Usually, like, not the whole project. They just ask you to chip in.
And what percent, like, is it 100% or over, or is it?
It's usually over 100%.
Okay.
Like, if you start, like, some housing authorities are in a community where the rents are, people have a little more income and the rents are a little higher, and they just make a little more money. And if you're like over 100%, 125%, 150%, they start to want you to have to spend that down a little bit.
Okay.
You're not close to that, don't worry.
All right, perfect.
It's just a rule of thumb. If you earn 100%, they don't give you subsidy. That's for sure.
Okay.
But then if you go way over that, they start to ask you to contribute to your capital improvement projects. Not a lot, just enough to contribute,
Okay, thank you.
20,000. Usually it's like 20, in the neighborhood of like 1 or 2% of the job or something, if it's a big job.
Okay.
For the most part, you don't have to worry about that again. Any other questions?
Anybody else have any other questions? Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, good. So, the next page, so I'm scrolling down to a page that looks just like what we were on, only at the top it says in bold letters, project 689-1. That is Garfield Street, and you'll
60.
Yeah. So, anyway, so you'll see it just falls right down. Administrative status, that little increases for Julie. Right now, the executive director, if you may or may not recall, last year they did a recalculation of the executive director's salary, and they froze it for 3 years, or when DHCD decides to recalculate it, which may be sooner than that. Otherwise, after 3 years, they'll start to allow you with like a 3% increase in that line item. So, right now, Lynn is frozen at the moment, for the next 2 years. This year, last year, this year, and next year. Sorry, Lynn.
It's okay.
It's across the board, so everybody's in the same boat. Accounting fees, we just increased it by 3%, just a little bit. And insurance went up. This number may change. It's not official yet, but the property insurance that's procured by the state for all housing authorities, they do that as a big group policy, is expected to come in at about 25% of last year, 25% higher than last year's amount, which brings us to a much higher insurance value. So I don't know what number that's going to be, but it may be higher than this. If it's significantly higher, we will have to do a budget revision, and we'll deal with that at that time. But right now, we don't know what that's going to be. Employee benefits, that's retirement and it's retirement, and a little bit of group insurance. So when all is said and done, now the 680, the group home, not group home, but the Garfield home does not receive subsidy at all. It's not a program that is subsidized. Sometimes DHC will throw money in that direction in the terms of an initiative, but not this year. So there's no subsidy, there's no utilities, it's self-sustaining that way. The income is less than the operating expenses at the moment, but as you see, it's the same situation. If you look up, you'll see that we didn't spend all that we could have and don't expect to. I just put some dollar values in as a cushion in case we need to, but between maintenance labor and administrative other, materials are very low here, contract costs are very low here. I don't really expect to have to dip into our reserves, but if we need to, we have a cushion again. Our reserves, if you look to the right, are $58,572 as of July 1st, which translates into a 403%. It still is subject to the 35% threshold that DHCD would like to see. We're nowhere, we're way over that. So,
Do we have to spend any of that down, or is it okay at that 403%?
it is fine at that point, and I don't expect you probably will not be spending it down, because based on, if you spend as you did last year,
Yeah.
you'll see your total operating expenses last year were $22,300
Yep.
versus 28. You were about $5,000, or like $6,000 really.
Okay.
Under budget.
Okay.
So, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
I don't think we'll be spending that. It's a contingency.
Okay.
Contingency money. So, when all is said and done, if you did have to use that money, it would be $54,849 is your
Okay,
Okay?
yeah,
And now, I'm just gonna, any questions at this point on the Garfield project?
nope,
No? Good. Okay. So the next page, you, as a board, need to be aware of all the salaries. When you sign off on the, this budget, and financial statements too, but when, on this budget, you need to be aware that you're signing, off on knowing what, hold on, I'm just gonna rotate this so that we can see it, right? There we go. So, what you'll see is, Lynn is stated salary starting by DCD of $38,824. That gets split out between 4,001 and 69 based on the number of units calculations. So it's 60 units over 68 and 8 over 68. That's how these percentages are calculated. Julie, we gave her a 3% increase. So she went from 15.23 to 15.69 per hour. And she works 16 hours a week. And so her salary is $13,052. And that is also split out a ratio because she doesn't do as much work on the Garfield project. So we skew it a little differently. The next page is the maintenance labor. I'm going to rotate this also. You will see that Mike works full-time. He works 40 hours a week. Anything over that is overtime, so we've put in a little overtime of about $5,000. He didn't spend it all last year, but it's here in case he needs it. Also, there's a $4,000 amount in here in case Mike needs some help, which sometimes happens in the summer, depending on what projects are taking place and the kind of work that's involved on the property. So on the 66, it's only for the 667. It's only for the president built
yep.
arms
Budget.
project. He also gets paid on call, as an on-call stipend that is typical of most housing authorities that can afford it. So that's $4,400. So all told, we've allocated $73,948 for the maintenance department. Again, it's split out between the 4,001 and 689. So it's the 689 project. So those are the two amounts: 65,456, 8,495, and that about does it for that. For the non-routine expenses, all we have, like I said before, is the COVID-19 expenses of $19,573, which is the amount that you received, and appliances of $2,000. We budgeted the full amount of this COVID. Whatever you spend, you'll get reimbursed on up to that amount. And that's the budget. Any questions?
Would you have the difference between the rentals last year compared to this year?
We do have, if you have a difference between the rentals last year and the rentals this year?
I do. So what I can do, give me 1 second, I'm going to put up, when you say, okay, well, I have two ways I can look at this. This is the operating statement. Your rental projected last year was $273,074. You came in at at 281,277, which equates to about $390 per unit. Last year's rents, I mean, I can give you an actual figure if you want. I'll have to pull up another report, but in terms of the budget, what I used to calculate, I used 23,195, which equates to about 275,557.
Thank you.
Divided by 6 units, divided by 12. It comes out to about $383 a unit. So it's come down a little bit from last year.
Perfect, and that could change too, if people come and go out.
That's
Yes.
right, depending on which tenants go in and which tenants come out.
Yes.
But this is how I calculate the rental income, is basically I take the rent roll as of June, and I apply an occupancy rate of about 99%, just in case, you give or take a month that may or may not have a tenant. Multiply that by 12 months, and you get 275,557. That's what I used for the budget.
Perfect.
So that's a current rent.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we're good.
All right, no big question. And feel free to ask any question. There's no dumb questions. I can, I've got all the numbers here. So if you have anything, this is a good time to ask. Any thoughts?
No, I think everything looks good.
Okay, good.
If things do change, because I know the first part of the year we weren't spending a lot because of COVID. So I guess we can revisit that. When would we revisit that? In January, February?
So that's a good point. What I would recommend is that we storm DHCD. Now, Teresa from my office, from my firm, she talked to DHCD and asked them to extend the time from December, since COVID is not ending in December.
Yep.
Really, we should be allowed to spend that beyond December. The federal government, HUD, has given an additional year to spend the CARE Act money.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest, number one, let's talk to DHCD and see if you can extend some of that COVID spending into 2021. Also, we will definitely have to revisit it. We can revisit it probably not December, but maybe March.
Okay.
At the quarter, and see how we're looking in terms of how much we've had to use of our reserves for COVID. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, no, I was just thinking for even maintenance and some of the things, I feel like we didn't have a lot of repairs from January till June. So I'm wondering if those categories are going to be off the 10% difference that they allow us. So if we have, what's that?
Fine, that's not a problem. Are you thinking of the year-end statement?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is they give us a 10% either way, correct? So if we didn't spend, say, for materials and supplies, what we were supposed to, do we revisit that in January or February?
Yes.
Okay.
One thing that they've changed what they do now.
Yeah.
They do not, when they evaluate for the PMR, is that what you're thinking?
No, I just want to make sure we come within the 10% of your figures, because everything was just so different with COVID this year.
Oh, I see. Okay. I just wanted to get with you. And so, if you wanted to look at that, we can look at that again in March. I would say in March.
Okay,
And then we can do a budget revision if we need to.
okay,
But the determining factor will be whether or not if we can spend upfront as much as possible before December. That's the ideal scenario.
yep, that shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, good. Okay, and just go ahead and spend it. So you've got 19,000 to spend on things that you might need like security cameras. Like I know you have that may not be something that you need, but maybe there's another. You already have a half door. Maybe you want to do some other kind of initiative. I don't know what we could do, but.
Yep. Now, what about, we have cameras on the front of the buildings, but we don't have them on the back. Would that be something we could, okay, that might be something worth looking into. Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Dumpster, like if you have it on the dumpster, because that's always a popular place where, people take advantage of housing authorities. Do you have a dumpster?
No, we have trash areas. The town picks up our trash. Yep.
Okay, never mind.
So, but yeah, we'll definitely, we're all putting our heads together, so we're definitely going to, spend it.
Think about it. I'm sure you can come up with something.
Okay.
Even if it's tech related. For example, if you need an iPad or a laptop.
Yeah, we're definitely getting those.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
Because that would qualify as well.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
All right. Any other thoughts, questions?
Nope, I think we're all set. I think we're ready to vote.
All right, terrific. So you have that sheet, right? Do you have that?
I do.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to read it and somebody can make a motion. So this basically is just for the 6667, which is this property, and then we'll do a separate one for Garfield Street. So I just need a motion that the proposed operating budget for state aid housing of the Acushnet Housing Authority, Chapter 667, Program number 401, for fiscal year ending 6/30/21, showing the total revenue of $278,892 and total expenses. Sorry. And total expenses of $295,545, thereby requesting a subsidy of $19,573, and further, the executive director's total annual salary of $38,824 for fiscal year ending 6/30/21 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
Motion made.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, now for 689, a motion for the proposed operating budget state aid housing for the Acushnet Housing Authority, Chapter 689, for the program 689 for fiscal year ending 6/30/2021, showing total revenue of $25,329 and total expenses of $29,052, thereby requesting a subsidy of $0. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $38,824 for fiscal year ending 6/30/21 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
Motion made.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
All right, I think we're good, Chris.
Wonderful.
I will be,
Thank you very much.
thank you, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, thank you for accommodating me, everyone. I appreciate it. I know it's an unusual way of doing this, but I really appreciate it because I can't drive at the moment, and due to COVID, there's other issues, so I really sincerely appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Have a great rest of the meeting.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Okay.
So that's it.
We need, any questions?
I do, I just, like to ask Lynn if she's gotten back any quotes for the building, or if you might have discussed the cost for the putting on the gazebo.
We haven't done it.
Okay, yeah.
No, but we just talked about working on that today. I think it's going to be better if we could buy the materials, that way we can use the extra money for other things. The computers are in the works, the laptop for Mike, the answering service, we're all working on that. I didn't realize cameras were covered. I think that might be an addition to put a couple more cameras around the property. We can definitely see the price on that and take that into consideration. So,
You only got a month.
yes, I know.
Well, did she say they're gonna try to extend?
They're gonna try to extend it, but, and the other thing is,
You would think if, you know, we're still gonna be dealing with COVID in 2021, they'll probably pass a new budget for new money that hasn't been spent.
probably, but we're definitely
I
gonna,
hope so.
we're definitely going to spend it. Even, you know, even if we get our bills in before and just some of the material in, we're definitely gonna have it done. That's why, another reason, our next meeting is gonna be December 9th. The bids did come in for the vinyl siding. I can tell you just offhand, we're not voting on anything. The lowest bid came in at $355,000. The highest bid being $613,838. There's a big range in bids, but we're going to hopefully be voting on that to stop that, to get that started on December 8th.
Do you know if there's any local bids?
They were all,
You don't know where they come from.
there was one from New Bedford, I believe. Once I have the sheet, it'll tell you exactly their names, the bidders, and where they were from. So that will be on December, you said 8th or 9th? 9th, December 9th, yep. So hopefully by December 9th, it'll be just a big meeting on spending the COVID money and go ahead with approving this contract so we can stop vinyl siding. And that's all I have.
Make a motion to adjourn if everybody's all set.
Could I have a date for the next meeting?
December 9th.
I'm sorry,
That's okay.
11:30?
11:30.
all right. Any more questions? If there isn't, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're now adjourned.